Alrighty. Oh wait, do we have proper audio in this? Yeah, we do. Never mind. What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? It is basically midnight here in Quebec City. I am very tired, and we're gonna close this thing out. We're gonna wrap up day number 1 here in La Belle Province, here in Quebec City. VNL week 1 for les messieurs, for les hommes. Obviously, it's a nice big day. If you're watching right now live, you already know Canada won. If you're watching this later, you probably know Canada won. So I'm in a pretty good mood, but it is literally about at midnight, any second now. So let's get this thing done nice and quick. 3 games today here in Quebec City. First and foremost, the one that kind of everyone was looking forward to, Bulgaria, the young upstart Bulgarians taking on Italy, one of the best teams in the world. And it was definitely an interesting matchup. Bulgaria obviously has some nice pieces. The Nikolov brothers are going to be the talk of basically the entire VNL, even though Blangini won't let anyone talk to them, straight up. I've been trying to get an interview with Moni and Alex, and been getting nothing from Blangini. He won't allow anything. So we're gonna keep on trying. Obviously, we'll get some post games with him because we can, but I'm not sure if we're gonna be able to do anything more. But we'll keep on going. But I think most people really want to hear my thoughts on Moni, and I think he's the real deal. Watching him play, watching him set in person is very impressive. He has a presence about him that is hard to miss, and he kind of still looks like a little bit like a Bambi. You can kind of tell that he is still growing into his body. He is very big, very skilled, and very comfortable around the ball. That's the biggest thing that I notice. His ability to understand where the ball is going instantaneously, get there with his feet, and his looks are so long. I was comparing, ball goes up, Gianelli looks at his hitters to see what he has, goes back to the ball, sets the ball. Nikolov gets there, sets his feet. He has time to make eye contact with his hitters, to understand where they are, and then goes on to play the ball. I think that there's a lot of questions around his actual setting ability, and I think he's absolutely elite. His ability to place the ball and his ability to run an offense is really, really good. The fact that he has duds around him doesn't really help. When you look at this Bulgarian roster, there's Nikolov, who's fantastic, and then you had the other 2 outsides, Asparuhov and Antov on the opposite. Together they went like 15 for 50, something like that. They just really weren't that good. So, hearing a lot of just like negativity in the Discord about Moni, and it is absolutely wild. Guys, like, sit back and enjoy it, because we are watching something that you're never gonna get to see again. You're never gonna see a 19-year-old I don't think who's this good. Right. And the way that he plays at the net, the way that he plays from the baseline. He had 7 points today. Right. He was one of the top scorers of Bulgaria. Actually, yeah. Let's pull up these stats right now. We're not going to dive into stats too much, but just looking on it on the Bulgaria side of things, he's got 7. Petkov has 10. The other Nikolov has 9. Asparuhov the other Nikolov, Alex Nikolov, has 17. Asparuhov has 9. Antov has 6. They're just really not getting that much. But the Moni Nikolov and Alex Nikolov connection is legit. To me, they have 3 good players. You've got Moni Nikolov, Alex Nikolov, and then Ilya Petkov, their captain down the middle. He's another guy that brings a lot of fire. Other than that, they really don't have that much, but they were still able to take a set from Italy just based off of how Moni was running that offense and how Alex was played and how both of them were serving. They pair them up back to back, so you can go from being up comfortably to being down pretty quickly if you're not careful with both of those guys at the baseline. So I think that there's going to be a lot of things to be able to watch with Moni. Like, I think he truly is an elite setter. Is there a few sets per set really that are unhittable? Yeah, absolutely. But he's a 19-year-old who forces things maybe a little bit too much, but that's the most it is. It's a little bit too much at most, and I think we're really going to see him blossom over the course of this VNL. He has all the physical components. He clearly has the mental components as well. We know that he can win, and you know, some of the people that I was talking to today know that they were talking about, and they were fully saying that he is an elite prospect, and there's not many like they have seen before him, like truly. But looking forward from them, let's talk about Italy for a little bit. Italy looked all right for their first game. I think they're obviously working into some things. This is a team that is mixed of new guys and old guys. Very interesting. Francesco Sani, the former American, now turned Italian, did get the start. He got pulled a little bit later, and there was a very long conversation between him and De Giorgi after the match that I wish I could have asked either of them about, but wasn't. I wanted to interview both of them, and I wasn't able to. I was a little salty about that. I won't lie, but overall, I mean, Italy is just out there, just executing 42%. Efficiency on this one. They were passing very, very well as to 48% positive and 18% perfect. Gianelli was just able to run that offense. You have four different guys who were in double digits. Botolo and Gargiulo, our guy, did a nice little interview with him. His English is fantastic, both with 13, and then Rich Licky getting his first official start as well for Italy with 10. Same thing with Anzani. So I think that, it was a bonne soirée. It was a very good performance from Italy, kind of what we expected. If it wasn't for Moni and Alex going on a bit of a serving run in that second set, it probably would have been a 3-dong. But I think it was a good start from Italy all overall. After Sani got pulled basically because passing, they brought in Luca Porro. I thought he was really effective too. I was really impressed by Italy day one, no doubt about it. Interested to see what we can see from them moving forward. All right, match number 2, Argentina and France. And this was an interesting one, especially in the Discord. A lot of people on either side of this, but ultimately Argentina pulling it out in 4. And after the second set, I thought that this is going to be said and done. First set, there was a lot of feeling it out, especially with a very young French team. And an Argentinian team who got in last night, so they barely got time to practice and things. So they're still getting acclimatized to Quebec City and stuff like that. And then in set 2, it was all France. They were really, really good from the baseline. But Argentina came back really, really steady in sets number 3 and 4. Just kind of played their game, settled into their play style. I thought Luciano Polonsky looked really, really good. I think he much better than he looked last year. I don't think I've seen him look that good since 2023. And he was telling me that his shoulder was feeling better too, that he was feeling a little bit more healthy. And overall, Argentina just played a steadier game. And I mean, if you look at that roster, you've got Sanchez, you've got Vincentine, Kurkartsev on the right side. You've got a lot of veteran guys. And in talking to Mendez, it kind of sounds like he wanted to go with the older guys today and start working in some of the younger guys throughout the week. But overall, a really, really good performance by Argentina in this match. I was really impressed with how they played. And, even Polonsky told me in our interview, you can go check it out, that, he kind of agrees that this team has maybe was on maybe a bit of a downward trajectory following their winning the South American Championships in 2023 and beating like the 30-year dominance of Brazil. And I think they're excited to get a little bit about that fire back, and I'm excited to see more from them. 14 for Polonsky, he led them with a 48% efficiency. Gallego, who got the start, wasn't bad as well with 9 points, including 5 blocks. Huge numbers there. And then Kurkartsev as well. He had 15. So really, really good just all around for Argentina. And then on the young French side, I think that, this is a very interesting team because you've got Clevenot, Théophore, and then a bunch of young guys. Today they started alongside Faure and Clevenot, also Matisse Henault, older brother of Hilaire Henault, the UCI standout. And They also started Amir Tizi Oualou, who I know a lot of people in our Discord are big fans of, and was talking to a few other people, and I think the comparisons between Tizi Oualou and Moni Nikolov are apt. I think that right now here in this very VNL, we're seeing what could potentially be a long time rivalry between two very, very good setters. I think Tzi Uedu is very big. He's very physical. He delivers the ball really well. He's got pretty good control. He can run a really nice tempoed offense and set a nice hittable ball. There's, I think, where he delivers the ball maybe sometimes a little bit better than Moni and a little bit more accurately. He doesn't open up the same avenues that Moni does, and he's not getting his hitters the same looks, in my opinion, as Moni's does. So I think there's such little between them. Like truly, I really think we're about to see like two greats come up and go toe to toe for the next number of years. I really think we're about to see that, just the way that these guys play in general. But I really like Tizi Oualou, and I'm excited to get to watch him over the next little bit. 13 for Fall, 13 for Clevno, 12 for Matisse Eno. They just seem to be a little discombobulated on the stretch, and you can tell that there's some questions just in terms of whose role it is to do what when France is playing, as compared to an Argentinian team who's very well organized and has that chemistry and have played together for a long time. So for me, I think it was just a little bit of growing pains for this French team. And I'm excited to watch them again some more. I'm excited to watch all of these teams. So, yeah. Weird haircut, Seth. We're not going to go into the Lorenzano opinion changes just yet, okay? Get over that. Fefe loves Sandy. He's like his golden child. Basically, I did hear that essentially they were a little lukewarm on Sandy, but basically invited him to the camp, and then upon showing up on camp, that they really started to like him, and they're kind of bringing him on as not a project, but he clearly plays a slightly different style than what Italy plays. But I also think that's a good thing. It brings a bit more of a physicality out there on the outside after Micheletto and Lavia, right? Because right now with Micheletto, Lavia, Porro, and who's the other guy? Who are we thinking about? Oh, Botolo, of course. Sometimes that lacks a little bit of physicality. So maybe not Ricino. I'm thinking Francesco, but Francesco Sandy can come in and add a little bit of firepower to him. So I actually don't hate it. I think he played decent today until his passing really started to break down. And then, we already talked about match number 2, right? Argentina versus France. Yeah, we did. All right. Then to talk about the one that just happened, the one that you all want to hear about. And it was, I won't lie, it was a bit of a frustrating watch as a Canadian fan. Set 1, I feel like we control that match. We're leading 23-21. We get maybe a bit of a bad call, and then everything changes, and we go from being up 23-21 to losing 25-23 in an instant, and we controlled the pace of all of that through that match. And then after that, it was just up and down, right? In set 2, I thought we took a nice little lead and we protected it decently, but once again after 20, there's a little bit of hesitation and there's a little bit of trepidation. Set 3, we just started off, set 3, the other set that we lost. I thought that we just started off on the wrong foot, made a few bad errors, played catch up, and then even though we gained some momentum at the end, made a few too many errors at the end. Set number 4, it was the same thing. I mean, it was really bad. We were down 7-2. I was ready to wrap it up and get out of there. I was really not happy, and let me tell you what, I would have not given you the cop-out of, it's the first game of Quan, okay? We were not worried. No, I was pissed off. I didn't like the way that we were playing. I didn't like the way that we were losing. There was a lot of good effort, but there was a lot of not so great things. and I'm not going to give that pansy attitude that my co-host loves to. It was like I was upset. Not upset, but I was like, we can do better than this. Luckily, the boys got it together, and I was really proud of the fight that they showed. I was really proud of literally all the guys that started in the way they played. Sclater had a big match, led the match with 17 points. I think he tapered off during the later half of the match, and even during the second and fourth, I was thinking, and I was even saying in the Discord that I wanted to see Xander in, especially because Xander has played in Germany the past few years and knows all the guys, like knows Lucas Massa, and like knows Eric Roars. Like he played with both of those guys. Oh no, Roars was at Dura, never mind. But still, like played with Massa as well, and it was like, I wanted to see Xander in, but ultimately I was wrong on that because long-term Slater was fantastic in the fifth. He really was. It really helped us along. I think Jackson Young, if you watch this match, you're starting to understand who Jackson Young is, and I think he just brings a different type of explosiveness that this team doesn't really have. He's really fast twitch. He's really powerful. If we saw his aces throughout the match, actually, how many aces did he have in this one? I know he helped us. 3 aces. Jackson Young's stat line really not that bad at all. Overall, I thought he was outstanding. Definitely my MVP as the match went on. He was 11 for 20 with no unforced errors. Did get blocked 3 times, but he had a 40% efficiency. He had 3 block stuffs and 3 aces with 4 errors. So not that bad, and his aces were really good. Hardest serve on the team at 120 kilometers an hour. Just to put that in perspective, Moni is serving at 123. Like Moni and like both Nikolov brothers are serving at 123 kilometers an hour. So Jackson Young right in there. And then also his passing numbers. And clearly because he plays in Germany, they went after him. He was targeted the most, 28 times, and he passed 46% positive and 25% perfect. Absolutely love to see that. I was really, really happy with how he stepped in, and I think Canadian fans are going to get to know him a lot. I was really proud of Jackson, the way he played. I know it's been a long time coming. I mean, first ever national team player from Nipissing University. Shout out to Eric Young. And yeah, overall, I loved the fight from Team Canada tonight. I thought that I talked about it in my interview with Dan Lewis. I thought Finn McCarthy was outstanding in his debut as captain. He takes on another level as the captain. You can tell that he makes plays when he needs to, and this team goes to him when in transition and he's there, he's getting set. First, I think it was very indicative. First point of the match, it goes to Finn. Within the first 10 points, he's getting a huge stuff block, and he's already playing out to the crowd. The way that he stepped up tonight, 7 for 12, attacking 5 blocks and an ace. Just really, really big and a massive performance from a brand new captain. And Lewis even said in our interview that 3 years ago he wasn't sure if Finn was going to make it. And then 2 years ago, Finn showed up for the B team in a completely different mentality, and that was when he had that huge year at Prague and helped him in the Champions League. Was one of the best servers there. And then last year, everyone knows how he all came on, but we've really seen this growth and this projection. For me, I've known him since he was a rookie at UBC, and watching to where he's grown now it's awesome. It makes me really optimistic about the future. Once again, there's a lot of things I didn't like tonight, but there was also a lot of things that I did like. I was really proud of a lot of those guys. I thought that Landon Curry was fantastic. Looking at some of his passing stats here, 17 attempts. He was 71% positive, 41% perfect. Canada in general is passing tonight way better than the U.S. We had 52% positive, 27% perfect. That is very unlike Team Canada. But, even I was walking back to the interview area with Lewis. I kind of wish I was I had my camera on me when we first met up, because he and I had a really good chat. But even said, like they weren't serving their best. And that's like, if we can get away with not being served tough, it's going to be a good game for Canada. And that's exactly what it was for us. On the Germany side of things, Eric Roars, 20 points. He was 19 for 35, but with a 34% efficiency. He got blocked 5 times, and I really want to touch on this because early on in the match, we were just leaving so much line for Eric Roars. We were giving him so much daylight, and he was swinging away, swinging away, swinging away. Same thing with Peter Yan. Mulwinkle was having some looks down the line too, and I was getting really, really frustrated into the second set. That change didn't happen, even though we started winning that second set. They were still getting points down the line. And then I realized that, late in the fourth and into the fifth, we're trap blocking Roars because he's trying to swing line, and that's where our block is. He was having a field day. Like, actually, we can actually see through in this website just needs to be better. Okay, he got blocked once in the first. Did he get blocked in the second? No, didn't get blocked in the second. And he was good. He was 2 for 3 in the second. And then, in the third, that's when they must have switched it up because they blocked him 3 times in the third. So I liked watching the game plan progress for Canada tonight. I really did. But back to the Germany side of things. Once again, I didn't really watch them all of that much. Roars with 20. Philip Jan, their oppo, he was 13 for 36, 17% efficiency. I'm not too high on him. As Matt Neves, Canada's third oppo, was telling me beforehand, he's got that Korean arm swing, which I didn't know what they called it, but it's that Michael Sanchez arm swing where you're just high and you snap through the ball. I don't think he's really that effective. As I said, 13 for 36 tonight. He had 2 errors and got blocked 3 times. 17% efficiency. He had 1 block, and then his ace to error ratio on serve is 1-5. So not outstanding by Philip John. I don't know if he's a guy long term for him. Massa was pretty good though, 8 for 14 with 2 blocks. And so was Simon Torvey. Torvey? I don't really know. 4 for 7 and 4 blocks as well. I do think that this German team has a little bit more to give. I just don't think that they fully had it in the tank today. I'm not going to sit here and talk about the USA-Ukraine game. I think I only watched, the last set really of it, and even then while doing other things. So I don't want to sit here and shit on it and shit on the US without having fully watched it, because I'm going to fully watch it so I can fully shit on the US on the 9x9 on Tuesday. And I'm going to do that because back in 2022, Rob used to eviscerate Canada in the Discord and basically saying that we were a team with no direction going nowhere. And that was when we were literally rocking lineups of like Brody Hofer on the right side. It was like Hofer on the right side and Matthias Elser on the left, because we had absolutely no one. And I'm also going to remind him all the times over the past few years that he's said B team doesn't matter and Pan Am Cup doesn't matter, because they're starting to look like they matter a little bit now, eh? So, yeah. Chat has been popping off. I have really not been looking at the chat here. No, honest, you look like you couldn't sit still the middle of the fourth. Honestly, I don't usually I'm able to stay pretty detached, especially when I'm not drinking, and I haven't been during these matches. I've been more watching, and I haven't been, but it's also because I haven't been filming, because usually when I'm filming there's almost like a detachment, like I'm seeing it happen through my phone, whereas in these matches I'm not allowed to film, so I'm really there and really present. I also got I got these Loop earbuds, and it really helps with my neurodivergence, so my ability to focus on these matches is way higher. So I get way more invested into it. And to be perfectly honest, I absolutely wanted to win to be able to laud it over Rob and be like, yes, we won today and you lost. Suck it. But I will say this, and I will bring this up in the 9x9, that I do think that we would have 100% lost to that Ukrainian team today. And it's, even though on paper Germany is way better than Ukraine, Ukraine is a veteran team, right? Those are men out there who play in the Plus Liga week in and week out, and who know how to play at that level compared to a bunch of boys. And I'm not sure that we would have done any better. And I think Germany was a way better matchup, just because there was a lot of youth on their side as well, and a lot of figuring things out. You know, Zimmerman was. Oh, that looks really bad. I am really overblown. Basically Zimmerman's the only guy really out there doing much. But I overall really happy and really proud of what I saw from this Canadian team tonight. You know, someone, Brody, said to me, you know, like, we've played Germany the past 3 years and we've always lost them, and he's right. So yeah, I was really happy with how this team played today. Now tomorrow we have Argentina. That's going to be a different story altogether. Argentina is a bit of our kryptonite. If you're a Canadian volleyball fan, you know this, and it probably won't go well. And then before that, I've got Germany, Italy. So I think that one's going to be really good. Those two teams saw each other. Did they see each other in preseason? Never mind. I don't think they did. I take that back. I don't think they did. So I think Germany's going to want to fight back, but Italy is still Italy, even though they don't have their full starters. Also, this absolute garbage where you saying the B team is the bench is stupid. The A team is the A team. The A team is the 14 players on the A team. You know who starts saying, "Oh no, this is the C team." That's a Rob St. Clair excuse. That whenever they bring in, "Oh no, we're playing the C team." No, it's your B team. It's fine to admit that this is your B team, right? None of this garbage. Whoever thinks that a bench player is like if you are on the starting 14, you're on the A team. That's how that works. End of story. There's no other discussions, okay, about that. Thank you, Johnny A, for the donation. Really appreciate that. You think any lineup changes for Canada tomorrow? How's our depth on the left side? Probably won't see any changes at first. I think that Schnitzer is going to be one of the first guys off the bench, just like we saw him play a lot. I thought Kofi, actually, I do want to shout out Kofi tonight. I thought he was really good. Serving, meh. He got put a few balls in, but I thought his blocking especially got better throughout the game. There's a lot of positives. Love to see him back out there for sure. How's our depth on the left side? I actually think our depth is pretty good. When you're looking at the two guys who were out there tonight, I thought that Jackson brings a lot of depth. You know, tonight we sat Skylar Varga. The guys to go to were Hesslinga and Elser, and those are two very different guys. You know, Elser is a really good ball control guy who brings a lot of leadership and just a lot of good vibes to the team, and he can be put into a lot of different situations. And Hesslinga is a high flyer who can bang some balls, but also has some decent ball control as well. Varga is definitely a guy who's going to be able to start some matches as well throughout this period. So when you're also considering that, you know, Lepke is still somewhere out there who's going to rejoin this team, probably not for the World Championships, but, you know, definitely at some point over the next few summers, and that, in my opinion, Stephen Marr is retired, we might be moving into our best period of left side depth ever. I think there's going to be a lot of competition, especially between those five guys, and then also I will have to I think Jonas Van Heusen. This is going to be a pull to the B team. I think Jonas Van Heusen is going to be making his way to this team in the next few years as well, just from what I was seeing in training. I think the depth on the left side right now, arguably, it's very young, but these flowers haven't bloomed yet, but the potential of we have the potential of having our best and deepest flower bed of all time. Does that answer your question, Johnny A? And thanks for the donation. Really appreciate that. Was I satisfied with Hofer's FD today? FD. You mean serve receive? Yeah, I was decently happy. I thought there was a few too many easy serves that were getting away from him. But I also saw some really tough serves that he was fighting off nicely. And I thought, you know, that first point of the game once again was pretty indicative, or like one of the first points of the game where he passed a nice ball and to get it going. Yeah, I thought it was pretty good. Oh, floor defense. It was all right. There was definitely a few plays, come to think of it, especially balls over top of the block, you know, on that long line down one that I would have wanted to see him pick up. But there was nothing egregious. I thought there was at times that I thought we scrambled really well tonight. Like I thought that, you know, especially of our recycle game, this ref was absolutely terrible, and there was no way he was calling a lift. You know, like it could have been 1996 Hermosa Beach Open type setting, and I don't think he would have been calling a lift. Like there was no way that he can even follow the game at all. Like this Peruvian dude has always been awful. I don't know why he still gets like getting stuff. But yeah, like there was a lot of stuff being kept on. If we had the game, I say might have been different if there was a ref who was calling stickier on hands, because we were making a lot of like short digs, and then the guys were scooping it up in like quasi sketchy fashion. So I thought our block defense in general was really good. Like if you look at our block stats for tonight in Canada, I think we had 11 blocks on the night. No, sorry, 14 on the night. 3 for Danon, 3 for Sclater, 3 for Jackson, 5 for Finn, and then 6 touches on that, and a lot of digs too. You know, it's clear that our blocking was slowing things down and allowing the guys to pick some things up. As I said before, I thought Landon Curry was fantastic. Really kept us alive on defense a number of times. His tenacity was definitely needed tonight, and yeah, overall pretty happy with the performance from the boys. Pretty happy with the fight. A lot of things to work on for sure. There's a lot of growing to go, but if this is the first step of, you know, a new day of Canadian volleyball, I'm pretty happy with it overall. All right, let's check the stuff chat here today. Thank you, May. Appreciate that. And thoughts about Can Up. So I do want to touch on this. Sclater will only be around for 2 weeks. And actually, if you listen to my interview with Lewis in French, and it was the general scrum interview, and they said I could jump in, so I might as well get the Spicy Vibes logo there on CBC on Radio Canada here in Quebec. But, you know, they asked about Sclater, and Lewis, who was very impressive in answering in French. Big shout out to Dan Lewis for the French tonight, too. You know, he talked about how that he's a father, and that it's really important for him to make his players understand that if you're a father first. So that essentially that's why guys like Demyanenko and Lepke and Mar, who are having kids this summer, aren't around. Because, you know, Lewis understands the importance of being a father, and that's exactly what's happening with Sclater. You know, the first 2 weeks are in North America. It's really easy for him to have his family around, and, you know, his daughter was out there. His son was in the interview with me on Sunday. His daughter was out there helping him throw the Mikasa moment, like, ball of the match afterwards. And then the next one is in Chicago, right? So it's all still at home before they go off. It's not like, you know, he'll play the first 2 weeks. It's not like we'll make the playoffs probably. And then, you know, last week when I spoke to him, he was just like, yeah, you know, won't play World Championships. And then was kind of chatting with him afterwards on Sunday, and he was just like, and I was like, what's the chances we get you to stay? And he was just like, oh, you know, guess we'll have to see what these guys say. So maybe a chance for World Championships. We'll have to see what that happens. But honestly, I kind of like our depth. Like I said, like I had no problem going to Xander at one point in this match, and actually I wanted to. I think that he brings a different size, like he brings a different size and physicality than Sclater does. And yeah, that's exciting. Like I don't think we're in a terrible spot when Sklate leaves and we have Xander there. I think obviously in terms of just being a veteran presence, and I think we really needed that. I actually agree with Lewis in the long run to be able to keep Slater on because he was a really good calming veteran presence out there for us. But I'm ready to see Xander uncorked a little bit. I want to see him go, and you know what? I'm also down to see Matt Neves take a few chews. Saw him in practice. Didn't think he was doing too bad. He just signed with Nagano. He's going to be playing in the SV League next year. Going to go play in Japan. So I think our depth in the opposite position really isn't that bad. And you know what? I have heard from unnamed sources that there will be someone returning to the squad for World Champs. We'll see if that's either Arthur or if that's Lepke. I think that's the only two. No one would confirm, but there's rumors of people returning. But yeah, when you look at Arthur and Xander and Neves and Sklate in the mix too, I think there's a lot of depth right now. I really do. I don't think like our top end. Our top end talent, like we don't have that world class talent like we did last year. We don't have Lepke and Mar. They are world class. We don't have Demyanenko, who's getting to be there. McCarthy is. Well, we'll see how the jury's still out a little bit. It's still early, but man, he is on a path for being something special. So I really like. We don't have that top end talent, but I really like what this team has been building. And it's not just now. It's what's been happening with the B team now for 2-3 summers. It's that this program is consolidated top to bottom, and that you come in as a junior and you start working together. And there's some things there. Thoughts about the crowd? Crowd was decent. It was just under 5,000 for tonight's match. However, if we had that size of crowd in TD Place, it would have been absolutely rocking. With just that. It's a much smaller field. We're in an NHL arena here. This is an 18,000 person arena. It is beautiful. It's massive, but you do get lost into it. And I will say, and this is the exact same type of problems that we had in Ottawa. Not problems, but growing pains that we had in Ottawa. That people tend to treat it like tennis. So they were very polite tonight. There wasn't much heckling during the serve. There wasn't really people cheering. I do think it's tough because you have like a generic volleyball world DJ and you don't have someone local. Although, if you go to that French interview with Dan Lewis, they played the good old Zigazon Saison to get us going in the fifth set, and that got the crowd going. I want more. I want more energy, and I'm gonna talk to Gilles Lépine, who was the CEO of this event, and they've done a fantastic job. I'm actually going to interview him. I'm going to bring Gilles on because he's phenomenal. What he's been doing for Quebec volleyball, I think, is amazing. And yeah, I need a little bit more from this Quebec crowd. So if you're out there, si vous êtes Québécois, si vous êtes dans la foule ce soir, j'ai besoin de plus. J'ai besoin un peu d'émotion. J'ai besoin d'un peu de fuck you de Laval. Tu sais, on a besoin d'un peu plus, okay? So if you guys are here, we need you to be loud. We need you to be... Ignorant is not the word that I'm looking for, but we need you to be Canadian. This isn't tennis. DJ doesn't need to play, but they whistle. We keep yelling. We keep chanting. It doesn't need to die down. It doesn't need to be that polite. Let's get in there. Let's get in their face. Let's get in their head, right? So far, we've sold 13,000 tickets. First and foremost, they're looking for a Canadian record for volleyball set at the 1976 Olympics in Montreal. That was 15,000. We're 2,000 away from that. I want to beat that. I want to fill this place out. If we could fill this place out 18,000, it would be incredible. Absolutely incredible. But Quebec, I need you to bring a little bit more passion. I need that Quebecois passion, and we didn't quite have it tonight yet. It's going to come. I know it will. But it wasn't there yet quite tonight. If you were in the crowd, let the people know. Unfortunately, Johnny A, we don't have any French-Canadian players on our roster. That is a whole other conversation that we can get to, but we won't right now. Nick Hogue is in the building. he is essentially like he is technically traveling as like that 16th player, even though he's injured. Just to here in Quebec, obviously he's not going to travel overseas, but I think that's important. You know, he's been around with this program for so many years now, and he is like a really good, you know, a really good calming factor to have. Yeah, exactly. We need this crowd to be boisterous. We need you to be rowdy. I have this one picture scarred, burned into my brain from the 2013 Canadien here at Laval, back in the old gym before they went to the new gym. It's my boy Jory Mantha serving in the final for McMaster, and you've got a whole bunch of Laval Rougeard guys right up the stanchion, leaning over in that red and gold sport court you guys used to have here, blowing vuvuzelas inches from the back of his head. Now that probably won't be legal. Probably won't be legal, but I want to see this place rocking and rowdy, okay? No, Mason Greaves is not French Canadian. He is from Calgary. Okay. Anyone else got any questions? It is late. It is 12:40. I'm shutting this down. We're going to bed. I will see y'all tomorrow. Thank you for tuning in. There's no reason for 84 of you to be watching right now. Yeah, I don't know. I'm like, look at this overblown bullshit. My hair looks like it's thing, and I keep talking. I'm gonna shut the fuck up. Good night, everyone. I love you all. We'll see you in the morning. Adios. Also, come say hi tomorrow. Also, someone said hi to me. I feel really bad. Someone said hi to me in Ottawa on like Friday or Thursday. And I kind of was dismissive because I was in an important and somewhat personal conversation with a good friend of mine who works for Volleyball Canada. And she was telling me something. And you said my name, and I turned around and I just kind of gave a half wave because I didn't want to be disrespectful to what Brenda was saying to me. And yes, if that was you, I apologize. But come say hi tomorrow, okay? Now I'm done. Good night. À demain.